As we enter the winter around December, I think that the loss of terrain cover, foliage, should make Ukrainian units much more effective since they're focused much more on drones as the principal means of defense, installing the Russian advance, and that we should have not an operational pause, but essentially a substantially reduced efficacy of Russian offensive efforts, probably from December to February, depending on what the weather actually is. For example, last year was incredibly warm. It's only when I was there in February, and it only started getting cold in the second week of February. So it's a remarkably warm winter in Europe. So the first is this going to hold true? Because the Russian offensive had been, notionally called by a number of folks in the media who, are colleagues, but sometimes structure a narrative that doesn't have a strong relationship to what's happening on the ground, that there's this Russian summer offensive. But the summer offensive actually began in March and hasn't ended in the summer. We are discussing it now in October. It's going to go through the fall. To me, if you look at both seasonal changes, degree of casualties and exhaustion of Russian forces, we should see a decrease in Russian offensive effort and its efficacy over the course of winter and probably pick back up sometime in late winter, early spring of 2026. It's my assumption. And partly because that's what happened last year, and of course it's wrong to extrapolate from a previous phase in the war, but nonetheless I think that the reasons for why that happened hold.